Okay, hey, Ryan here with Bond Street Mortgage, and I have James. We're going to talk about mortgages for realtors and for other self-employed entrepreneurs as well. But we want to specifically focus on realtors who spend a lot of time worrying about mortgages for their clients, but a lot of times they have their own personal needs, right, James?
Absolutely.
Yep, and you just sent me over this PDF. I'm not sure what it is. It's got a lot of gobbledygook and numbers on it. I'm going to let you explain what this is all about, 12-month bank statement.
Yes, so this is an example of the bank statement program for self-employed individuals. So there's actually a straight business option or a commingled option between personal and business accounts. So what you'll see there is a monthly rundown of the last 12 months. And basically, based on the total deposits and then a expense factor based on a letter from the CPA that says that we asked basically, which you can obviously also derive from a P&L, right? So you'll see the gross income and then the expenses. So what percentage of that gross deposit number goes towards expenses, what's left over, and then what the monthly net income is that we can use to qualify for the loan.
So let's take a step backwards. What we're talking about specifically is allowing a 1099 real estate agent to use bank statements only and not have tax returns considered when qualifying.
Correct.
Right. So this is big because I know a lot of I sold for real estate for years, and a lot of times I would see deals. You see stuff that you would like to get your hands on if you could out in the wild there, and this could open a door. Does it need to be primary, or can it be investment as well?
It can be primary and investment as well.
Okay, so right here, I'm looking at these numbers. It shows the deposits, and then what percentage of your deposits get used?
Correct. Based on the expense factor that would come from your CPA based on your P&L.
So your CPA is going to send a letter and say that you're netting, your expense factor is 50%. So you're netting 50% of these deposits.
Correct.
And then you're going to use that number to qualify them for a mortgage.
You got it. So in this case, you can see that the monthly net income that we can use derived off of those deposits is $10,166 a month. If I use the traditional methods of qualifying this person, their net income was somewhere around $36,000 to $40,000 a year. So I would only be able to have monthly net income of about $3,300.
So this is about 3 to 4x what the tax returns might say, right? Kind of like,
absolutely.
Yeah, this is kind of big. Now, investment. So personal and investment properties. And then you go to the normal like debt to income ratio kind of stuff.
Exactly. Actually, the programs do allow you to go even as high as 50 DTI. And on the investment side, you can use the rental income on the property also to help qualify for the deal. And I'm using this example because for most self-employed individuals, including real estate agents, of course, if you look at the cash flow here, if you're a pretty good agent, this probably looks like your cash flow. And what I would also say from an advice standpoint is when you're setting your business up, even though you're an independent contractor and you think, hey, I just got a nice, paycheck from my Remax broker, Keller Williams, what have you, and I just go deposit it in my personal account. That's fine. Just be consistent. Or even better yet, maybe start an LLC to run your expenses through and treat your business as a business. That way, when you go and apply for a loan, everything is nice and organized. But personal is fine. It works well in this equation as well also, but again, make sure like you're not going back and forth. We do have a commingled product, but it does also mean that you'll have a higher interest rate. And the interest rates on these programs are high. They start in the 6s. I guess it's all relative though, because if you can get 6% money, and like you said, Ryan, astutely, if you find a deal that you want to jump on, 6% money is really not that expensive in the investment world. To just comes to mind thinking about, they released some of the loans that, the president has with large financial institutions, and some of them are, decade-old instruments, and you see the interest rates on some of these things. On like 100 million, he's paying 6%. So everything is relative, and obviously you can put those numbers into your equation. And if your net income in this case is 40,000 that you were able to run those expenses through, obviously you saved a bunch of money in writing a check to Uncle Sam. So you have to, obviously you weigh that against what the numbers look like. But I do think most people, especially business people, which this is geared for, will see the value in that.
Okay, so commingled again means you have your business and personal funds rolling through the same account. Ideal is that you have ideal, but you don't need this, is that you have an LLC or something just totally kind of separate.
Correct. So the commingled is actually your personal account and your business account. We're taking the deposits related to your business from those accounts.
Okay. Okay. And then your CPA says, hey, it doesn't even need to be the tax return. It's just a letter from the CPA saying, hey, his
Correct.
expenses were about 40, 50%. Okay.
Which you can do on a base, obviously, and that's why I say it's great to keep yourself organized with, QuickBooks. Treat yourself like a business, set yourself up that way. Use QuickBooks, come up with a P&L that will easily show what your expenses are and what that ratio is compared to your gross receipts. Share that with your accountant and ask them to write a letter, based on the actual numbers, which most CPAs are obviously willing to do today.
Yeah, on that subject, just a bonus tip. I've been using QuickBooks Self-Employed. Have you seen that? It's like a light version of QuickBooks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So for anybody, it's kind of a light version. I think it's like $15 a month.
Exactly. There's so many. It's great software.
Yeah, and you can go right on your phone, expense, income, really useful. Okay. Here, how do I get this drawing off of here? All right. So that's about it. If anybody has, if you're watching this and you have questions for James about how to either for yourself finance or refinance, right, James?
Absolutely.
Right. So you can use this to refi as well. If you have any questions about how to use bank statement only financing to acquire your own personal investment refinances, or for your clients, reach out to James or somebody here at BondStreetMortgage.com. Good to go, James.